So this one is kind of special, because I didn't participate in a game jam, rather in a video competition for 20k. And I'm gonna tell you about how I made a platformer within the 6 weeks of the competition. First of all, I have to tell you about the German YouTuber Hardware Deals. He makes videos about hardware, and he held a competition called Pimp My PC, where you could win a 20k setup overhaul. And since I have a toaster from 4 years ago, I had to participate. But the goal of the competition wasn't to make a game, rather to make a 2-minute video and the best one gets a new setup. So I had to come up with a plan on how to manage the time, and I decided to take the first 2 weeks to make the game and make the video in the remaining weeks. First of all, I had to make a character move, and I decided to make a 2D platformer. And while I could do that myself, of course, I decided to use a platformer controller from GameDev. I just love that guy. But back to the controller. I just had to implement my own art, and that's what it looked like after some tweaking. Then I designed some rough concepts for a story and started to make the first level. And the following process repeated for every level. First, I had to think of a mechanic and draw a concept on how to implement the mechanic, which could be an enemy or a platforming challenge. After I was done with designing, I got to implementing. So I made some programmer art and programmed the mechanic. Then I just tweaked it and built out the level. I did that for the next few days until I had my 5 levels and a tutorial. But I think I should tell you what the game is even about. The PC components you have to get back are the case, power supply, mainboard, CPU, and finally the most valuable one, the GPU. And for each of them you have to play through a level, based on the component, with an individual mechanic per component. But before I tell you about the levels, it's joke time. The section of the video where I tell you a bad GameDev joke to loosen up the dry GameDev monologue. Why do programmers need glasses? To see sharp. For the first level you have these fans in the case that blow you to the side or upwards. Then in the power supply you have these electronic barrels that shock you if they are fully loaded and you happen to stand near them. Now to the mainboard, and this one is special because you have to go into the right answer, so it's more like a puzzle. The CPU has these little platforms that heat up if you stand too long on them, and I know it's a little uncreative, but the GPU is just combining all of the challenges before to make up for not having a boss fight. Also, did I told you about this cute button? Aww. But let's get away from these ugly ass levels and update the graphics. Oh, that's better. Well, this graphic update was made possible using my friend Colin's art skill and me forcing him to make pixel art for me. Hahaha. After I had these working levels, I just did some little things like changing the UI and making menus, making a speedrun mode, making comics that nobody can read because it's in damn German, because the competition is in damn German, oh my god. And I also got this lovely guy to make me some music. Listen. Wow, that's cool. And that's how I made the game. Of course, I also had to work hard on the video, but sadly I didn't even make it to the top 10. Now let's get into the... Looking back, I had a lot of fun making and designing this game. But I still have some problems with the game, involving the difficulty and the character controller. Because the character is just way too fast for new players. Why didn't I change it, you might ask? Well, I got trapped in the developer difficulty problem. This means, just because I'm a little god at this game, the game isn't easy. Besides that, I am proud to have a finished game. If you now want to try out the game for yourself, here's a link in the description, but it's just in German. Thank you for watching and bye! Hit subscribe!